the magazines, all those women magazines that you see, and you get in the new, when you're going to get a cup of coffee or something, you just see all this pressure on celebrities and how they look. Kim Kardashian, it's all obsessive about how we look on the outside. So you take it then to the ultimate degree where you go down this route.
Oh, it's disgusting. Okay, well, let's go down the route of abstinence. And that's what we want to talk about now. And right now we've got Anthony McCarthy on the phone, and Anthony is the author of a book called Ethical Sex. So, Anthony, the Church of England has said pupils should be taught about the value of abstinence and celibacy as part of sex education lessons. I just want to ask my two guests in studio, any horrific reaction to that?
Yes, horrific reaction. I believe that you should have sex before marriage, because I think it's really unnatural not to.
Well, I read the article and thought their value system is right, to have sex in a loving relationship, and that's what I think the whole essence of that is. I don't think it's the job of the teachers to be pushing celibacy either. I think that's it's for parents to talk and teach their children their value system.
Is it the job of the church?
I suppose it's the job of the church to put on your values.
Anthony, let's hear from you.
Hello. Hi.
Hello, Anthony.
Well, I agree. I mean, I actually think parents are the first educators, so I think it's really important that parents are not undermined or overridden in general. But, of course, the Church of England, I'm not a member of the Church of England. The Church of England has a particular view which it can reasonably put forward, and it's a view I happen to agree with. I think that it's extremely important, first of all, that children are taught that abstinence can be a very valuable thing, and that sex is a very special and serious matter. It's not like other things. It can involve new human life. It's one of the most intimate things we'll ever do. I think it can have quite serious effects on people, bad as well as good, if misused. So I think it's really important that any kind of talk in this area is sensitive to its importance. It doesn't trivialize it, doesn't treat it like a joke, and also treats young people seriously, because, young people do not appreciate all sorts of things. We might say that they do, but part of being young is actually not being aware of certain things, and that's why they need to be handled sensitively.
But I also think that, if you practice safe sex and you are mature and you're ready for it, it's also a very pleasurable experience that will be with you for life. And to have the right partner and the right chemistry with somebody is really important too.
And that's the values to teach them. Yeah. And also it's a self-esteem issue from my point of view too, about filling a girl up with so much self-esteem that she's able to say no if she doesn't want to, and a boy too, so that it is a sacred feeling and it is something that's important. And it shouldn't be trivialised. And I agree that the concept behind this article is a good one, but I'm not sure that schools or teachers should be pushing celibacy. That isn't their role either. It's to teach them, to keep it in a loving
religious
context.
School, you could argue.
I can see that. Yeah. I could see that in, say, Catholic school or something. Yeah.
Church of England.
Well, I mean, any teaching is going to presuppose some kind of moral system. Okay. And it's going to, implicitly or explicitly say that certain things are good and valuable and contribute to human flourishing, and other things are harmful and bad. I think we have to be honest about that. There isn't such a thing as a neutral exposition, particularly in this area. And what the Church of England seems to be saying is actually what's been believed, around the world for thousands of years by the vast majority of the planet, probably, that there is something called marriage. There is something where, people save themselves for marriage. It's maybe in certain parts of the Western world it's a bit less popular, but there is a very strong idea that sex and marriage are very much bound together, that there's something about the sexual act that brings about a kind of one flesh union for two people. They view each other as irreplaceable. It's the foundation of a family, etc., etc. Now, that's a very powerful message, and I presume the Church of England is trying to give some kind of context to what they're saying about sex, and I think there's a lot to be said for it. We can talk about, so-called safe sex strategies and things like that, but they generally haven't succeeded in the way people thought they might. So, for instance, a lot of people say if we have more safe sex, we'll have less abortion, but that just hasn't happened. We tend to get increases because you have now a very, very different attitude towards sex in society.
Well, Dr. McCarthy, we've got to leave it there. Thank you very much indeed. Very interesting to hear your take. Dr. Anthony McCarthy is the author of a book called Ethical Sex. The Church of England now saying pupils should be taught about the value of abstinence and celibacy.